Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Luna Nectar Universe. We're so excited to have fitness coach and trainer Daniela Dib. Daniela has recently launched her new business, Daniela Dib Fitness. It's a subscription-based service that offers daily workouts and fitness challenges and coaching.
Thank you, guys.
We like to ask our guests to sign in with their astrological signs. So can you please share with us what your sun, moon, and rising signs are?
I believe that I am Sagittarius, Taurus, and Cancer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wonderful.
So you
It's
have,
very cool to find out.
Sagittarius, so your fire sign, which it kind of makes sense. So I think you're a really people's person. You like to travel, and yeah, that's awesome. So tell us, how did you fall into the world of fitness? Have you always been active, and what were you doing before you became a fitness coach?
Such a great question. I grew up as a dancer. I went to the National Ballet School of Canada when I was 11 and started training there. And from there, I transitioned out of ballet into commercial style of dance. So that was lots of music videos, commercials, TV, and that then led me to, I was in a girl group for a while, and we went to Toronto, which was lots of fun. I think we had a lot of potential. It unfortunately didn't work out because we had some sort of poor management and bad direction, but it was still a really awesome learning experience and something that I'm really glad that I pursued. It's also kind of cool that it didn't work out because it was a huge lesson in trying really hard at something and essentially it didn't work out. It was quote unquote a failure. However, I learned so much from it. There were so many beautiful lessons that came out of it, and I think those have carried with me today. And then I moved to the States on my O1 visa, which is a performing arts visa. And I continued to pursue my professional dance career in Los Angeles and New York. I did almost 6 years in the States, which was amazing. Tons of auditions and lots of opportunities to work with great people on great projects. I'm so grateful that I had that amazing chance to live in the States. And from there, I started to feel an inkling of wanting to expand what I was doing, because there's a part of going for lots of auditions and being someone that's in front of the camera that you can feel like you need a lot of validation from others. And I wanted to have a moment to kind of fill myself up with some good stuff and then give that back out. So I decided to take my yoga teacher training course. I had already done some Pilates training as well as teaching dance. You know, that had always been something I had done. And then of course, going through like yoga certification is a much more intense process. There's a lot of anatomy. There's a lot of, it's really in depth. And that led me to love teaching in a deeper way. And then I actually got introduced to SoulCycle, and that was my big sort of break into the fitness community. I taught between New York, Los Angeles, and then came back to open up the first Vancouver studio in Yaletown. So fitness for me was a really natural progression from my years of being a performing artist, already having the background in learning about flexibility, mobility, how to work out without getting injured. And then that just led me into, you know, cycling is endurance and cardio. Yoga is core strength, Pilates is core strength, and I've sort of merged all those worlds together to come up with a really unique style that essentially are just workouts that I would love to do, and therefore now I offer them to other people to do.
Great, thank you for that.
That's an amazing journey. So tell us about your new venture. When did you start? What made you just decide to make the leap to start your own fitness brand?
Oh, amazing question. So during COVID and the initial shutdown, I started teaching every single day live workouts at noon with really no agenda on my page other than to stay connected with the community and to give back. I was doing them for free and or by donation, and lots of people were very generous and were donating to keep them going. And I was doing hour-long sessions or sometimes 2 sessions every single day for months and months. Now, I'd always wanted to do my own thing, but as all of us know, it's so easy to get in our own way. We are definitely the kinds of people that it's so easy for others to see our light and to see our potential. It's a lot harder to convince ourselves of that. So I definitely feel that I was trapped in that mentality in some ways. Not saying I didn't realize my own potential, but I was allowing myself to be too busy to sit down and think and to meditate on it and to figure out what next steps I wanted to take in my life. So during this coronavirus quarantine lockdown, which I'm sure many people can agree with, it was one of the first times I've had a great giant pause in my life.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't be busy anymore. You could not distract yourself. And a lot of the distractions came from just doing so many jobs. I was always like one thing to the next. Some days I would barely have an hour to myself. And that's not very conducive to flourishing a creative mind that can come up with new and exciting things. So during that, I really took it seriously, and that I'm not going to let these months go to waste. I'm going to do my very best to come out of this better if I can. And for me, that's how starting my own brand, my own business was born. And it also, we have to remember, is like a combination of years in the making. Like, I didn't just wake up one day and think I want to become a fitness instructor. I've been doing this and performing and being in front of people for so many years. This was just a unique opportunity where the worlds collide, and I was able to actually figure out what it was that I wanted my next step to look at and look like. And I must also say that I have no idea where I'll be a year from today. Like, I'm just taking this as it goes.
I mean, I think that none of us do, right?
Yeah, like
so much
I have no
uncertainty.
idea. Right? Like, I don't know what this is going to quote unquote turn into, but every single day, as long as I'm doing something to progress, I'm happy with that.
I think it's interesting you like mentioned COVID. Obviously there's been a surge of virtual classes and kind of like at home workouts. Like Nike, for instance, rolled out their app, and you can do like workout classes with their star instructors, because obviously people can't travel, people have to like shelter at home. Do you think kind of this is like the new trend where people are just working from home? Like, do you think that, this is kind of something that will continue on even post-COVID?
Well, prior to that, lots of people did do at-home workouts. I had never before, to be honest, because I always was in a studio.
Yeah.
But when you think about big giant brands like Peloton, or, there's lots of people that have YouTube channels that are very, very successful, there always has been the need for it. I think it amplified the need for it, and people were getting really unique. And it's also really awesome to see how many fitness instructors did step up during COVID and were offering their years of service and top-notch expertise for free for people. And I hope that people, didn't take that for granted, because fitness instructors are, you use your body in such an intense way to motivate and inspire people. And I was seeing some top people just go on and just give and give and give without asking for anything in return. So just to keep in mind, to like take care of people like that in that way. And I'm so happy to say that so many people were very generous with me and very appreciative. And that also inspired me to start the page that I have now and to pursue my own brand as I am now. So to answer your question, because I got a little off topic there, I think the need was always there. I think it's been amplified now. And I think that studios will always be incredible, and the need for those will always be there as well. And there is a beautiful world where there are 6 billion people in this world, and there are plenty of people that will want to do both. So there's opportunities for everyone.
I think it's such a beautiful story of how you founded the company. I think there's so many companies that are entrepreneurs out there who started their brands from out of crisis or out of pain points. So I think there is a silver lining with COVID. I think, like you said, number one, we're taking more time to kind of pause and reflect in our life and what to think about what we really want. And then on the second hand, there are also people kind of redirecting their life, and even some of them starting their own business, maybe something that they've been thinking about for years. So so thank you for sharing that. I think it's a beautiful story about how the universe always kind of works its way to make things happen.
Sure does.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the style of workouts you teach?
Okay, so very minimal equipment is needed. Weights, if you have them, and people have been creative, but I think now most people have some weights at home. Ankle weights are also totally awesome. They just make things like booty work a little more challenging, and resistance bands. So it's a really minimal equipment. The style is, I would say, like HIIT workout, so high intensity interval training. So you'll get lots of opportunities for cardio, which obviously I'm a cardio junkie. There's tons of ab work, and it's more slow controlled movement ab work, so that Pilates style, and then yoga. And when I say yoga, it's like a yoga fusion. I definitely incorporate weights into the training, and again, core strength is a huge part of my fitness program. Then I do monthly challenges. So this month we're doing a booty challenge, and those are short workouts. They're 10 minutes a day. So absolutely anyone can squeeze 10 minutes into their day. I also incorporate stretching into my program. So really there is something for everyone. I've got beginner level style, serious advanced styles, workouts, and every part of your body will be targeted. And growing up as a dancer, and particularly a ballerina, a lot of my training, or all of my training, was to create long, lean lines. So it has that element of, length and stretching and strength. Lots of lengthening, long, lean lines.
That's amazing. I feel like, I personally have tried different types of workout, and not all of them, I think, are suitable for my body. For instance, I've been doing HIIT a lot, and then I realized I was bulking up, and that was not the type of body that I wanted. And definitely, I love that your workout kind of, you emphasize on like long, lean lines. And I think that's like,
moving slow is really powerful too, like doing ab series that are a bit of a slower burn. Create really great results if that's what you're looking for. And again, I switch things up every single day. And I really do bring in all of the training that I have and all of my background and all the things that I've worked on. And it's sort of meshed into this really unique style.
I was going to say, how do you keep, your workouts like fun and get your clients to be motivated? Because working out isn't the most enjoyable thing for most people, especially if you're working out at home. Like I know I am so unmotivated. So how do you keep your classes fun?
Well, I would say that that's probably my strongest point, is my ability to be motivating. And the way that I do that is by, one, I love teaching my classes live because there are people in the chat and I am up in your face yelling at you the entire time, as well as using words that come from a motivational place. So I'm not just barking out orders at you. My whole, this isn't about a workout. I don't even like using that word. Often I'll say it's a work in, because it's not just about burning physical calories and sweating. I feel like I could achieve the same results if we were all just standing outside and just doing high knees and like different things. It isn't about, it's not about me teaching on a bike. It's not about me teaching like an ab series. Anyone can teach an ab series. Anyone can teach a push-up. Like I'm not in any way unique in my ability to do that. I think what makes me different and what makes my program different is the words that I use and the way that I do it. So hopefully I can inspire you to stay committed to your workouts, to stay committed to keep showing up, not just based on the fact that you're hoping to get a six-pack. That's a wonderful, wonderful side effect of the work that you're putting in. But if you're only tying your goals to superficial output, you're probably only going to get superficial results.
No, for sure. I mean, I've been to a few of your classes at SoulCycle, and I have to say, I feel like it's an emotional workout as well. All the mantra kind you yell out, like it's not like, I definitely feel I feel like I'm emotionally also being transformed. It's not just my body. So
thank you. And that's, I think, what's very important to keeping people coming back, to keeping myself coming back, because if I was just being like, all right, do 8 jumping jacks, I would be bored. That's not my style either. So it's just finding something that works for me and hopefully translates to everyone else too.
Do you have any advice on food you should eat before a workout?
Something that's great. Smoothies are awesome before a workout, or doing things like whole grain bread with, either almond butter or peanut butter. I would definitely recommend. I also can't stress this enough. Drink water, be hydrated. Bananas are great too. If it's before a really strenuous cardio activity, I like to get carbs in there too.
I remember you advised, like before like a school class, you would be like, carb load.
Have carbs. And then, you want to do things that are, feel good for you. Everyone is so different. My fiance is going to see a nutritionist and they did his whole blood work. And it was so interesting to see the things that he was allergic to. And it's not allergies as in he's going to, die if he eats them, but they are things that are intolerable to his body. And they're things like figs and rice and things that we wouldn't think of. So it's also, you've got to listen to your body. Like if someone puts on the internet, have Greek yogurt before your workout and you eat it and you don't feel well, don't have it. Like find what works for you and stick to that. And I found certain things that work for me. And I'm also always open to hearing other people's things because I'm not a dietitian. And I think that there's a huge opportunity to really get to know your body in a way that's more specific rather than just like eat this and you should feel great.
Daniela, we're recording obviously during a pandemic. How has this affected you professionally and on a personal front? I know your wedding had to be postponed because of this. How are you coping with all of these disappointment and I know I want to call them setbacks?
Yeah, of course, not having my wedding this year was disappointing, as I'm sure it was for every single bride. We had a big wedding planned with 160 people.
Oh, wow.
It's a big task, and it was really disappointing. And I don't know if I'll ever get to have that wedding. Who knows? Maybe next summer it'll still be.
Was it a wedding in Vancouver or was it a destination wedding?
In Vancouver, but the rules, we couldn't have it. We did have a really small engagement party instead, which was lots of fun. There was only immediate family and the wedding party, which, of course, is you feel like you're leaving so many people out, and that's not the best feeling. But at the same time, we have to remember that day wasn't about anyone else. It was about us.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens next year. And none of us know, but if it has to be under 50 people and your catering staff counts as 8 people and we can only have 40 people, then lots of people unfortunately have to be left out. And I think everyone just has to be understanding of that.
I forget that I guess your catering staff too, like
that
says like people that it's in your party. So that kind of further reduces the number of people that you can invite.
Dave and I each have 7 people in our wedding party. So literally we couldn't even invite significant others of theirs. Like it was just like, it just had to be that small.
Yeah.
While it's definitely, I was disappointed about it. At the end of the day, one, there's so many worse things that can happen. Not to diminish it, because I don't think you should diminish how you feel, because those things are important too. But I did really lean into the fact that I'm grateful I'll still get to do it. I'm grateful that I've been able to start this new business, and I'm just going to do my best to stay positive about it. And if I have to adjust what next year looks like, then we will so graciously, and everyone will understand. And maybe one year when we're allowed to, we'll throw the big party.
I love your attitude. Yeah, I love that. I think all of us just have to kind of cope. And like you said, there's so much uncertainty around, and all we can do is just be grateful for what we have and just kind of keep an open mind.
Yes. Might not be the wedding I originally imagined, but I know that no matter what, even if it pours with rain, which that would actually make me sad, but no matter what happens, it still will be a wonderful day.
So we spotlight a lot of entrepreneurs on our podcast. So we want to know what kind of struggles you've had on your journey, and what advice you would give to somebody that's trying to start their own business like you or switch career paths.
So I would absolutely say that the most difficult part is finding your own voice. I think that that's why my attempts at doing an online business in the past haven't worked out, because I would look kind of at a lot of other people and feel like, okay, well, if they're doing that and it's working, like maybe that's what I should do. And it's not that you're stealing their stuff. It's just that you don't quite trust yet that what you have to offer is enough as it is. And there's so many people doing such amazing things. You can almost feel like you're getting muddled in there and like, oh, I'm just at the beginning and someone's been doing this for 10 years now. How will I ever get to that level? And it takes some work to clear out that kind of noise and trust that what you have to say is powerful, because no one can do it like you. Like I said, there's 1,000 people, millions of people that are fitness instructors, but I know no one has my voice, just like I don't have any of theirs. And that's what makes them unique and special. And that's their superpower. So if all of us remember that our superpower truly is showing up as ourselves, not sound corny, but it's absolutely true.
I totally agree.
Just like not trying to it's good to be inspired by others. It's great to look up to others. You should have role models, I believe. You should ask tons of questions and, get inspired by others. I love when people are like, oh, I want to get into this. How should I? I never would take that as a threat. I'd never be like, oh, well, that's what I do. The great thing about the world is there's so many people that will mesh with you. So many people won't mesh with you. I'm sure you can find an equal amount of people that say they love my class to people that are like, oh, hate it, not for me. And that's fine. They'll go find their person. So if anyone trying to start a startup business, anyone trying to switch careers, it's not comparing yourself to the person who's done it for 10 years. It's getting inspired by the person who's done it for 10 years. It's saying, they've done that. I can do that too. And I'm going to do so with my own voice in my own way and not judge the process. Like, again, a year from today, I surely hope I'm somewhere wildly different than I am from right now. Because if I'm not, that means I didn't do any growing.
Yeah. And I just want to add to that too. Also, I think we hear that a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to start this thing because the market is already so saturated, but it's like maybe your product, maybe will speak to, different types of people. Maybe,
Totally.
so just because the market is saturated, your messaging is the one that's resonating with certain people, right? Maybe they need to hear from you specifically and not from your competitor. So I think that's a really good reminder, for aspiring entrepreneurs out there. Don't be afraid to start something just because other people are doing it, because your voice and your product and your identity is like unique to you. So
Totally.
yeah, completely agree with that. So what is your go-to wellness or self-care ritual or practice? What do you like to do to take care of yourself?
I definitely like to stretch. I find that really like calms me down, as well as I love reading. I've been an avid reader since I was young. Definitely not doing as much of it as I should right now because of starting this online business. And I find I'm spending every spare moment trying to think of something to do with that. But reading is big. I love going to the spa. I'm a sucker for the spa. I could spend all day there getting massages, etc. And just great conversations with people is really important. I find, my fiance and I have wonderful chats, and that's for me super important to stay connected, stay grounded, and to kind of come back to myself. I give a lot every single day, and it's really nice to feel like I have someone that I can receive from too.
And is there a favorite beauty product or any type of product that you can't live without?
I love face masks. Like when I go to Sephora, I'll get like 7 face masks. And I'm like, today we're doing a face mask. And I do them pretty often.
Like sheet mask or like sheet
Love
mask?
it.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes, like you take it off, you're like, I am an accomplished human today. I put a sheet mask on my face. My skin is moisturized.
Any favorite ones that you can recommend?
I think it's just that Sephora brand, right? Or just those like, they're always like on special, except lately, Sephora.
I know. I think that their VIB sale is probably coming up in September.
Excellent. I should do that.
Just good to know. What is your favorite song to work out to?
Oh, I have so many. This is really challenging.
I know. You do have the best playlist, I have to say.
Thank you. I love everything. I think my overall just like most Daniela song is probably Sicko Mode. Travis Scott and Drake. I think that's probably like my most Daniela song. So I'll go with that one. But I have so many, like that doesn't even begin. I made a list for my members the other day of my top favorite songs, and I had 60 on the list. And that was just like my top favorite songs. So.
Do you have a playlist on Spotify that we can follow?
Not really. I make, I do all my own playlists. I download music. I have a friend who will mix music for me too, and then send me back the files, and then I put them through a form. He's awesome. So and then I buy a lot of my music on sites, and I make everything myself in terms of flow. So it's like airtight. All my music is clean, etc. So I don't really do the Spotify, and I don't use Spotify when I teach.
Oh, okay. That's good. Interesting. Yeah, you do have a sick playlist, I have to say.
Thank you.
So you mean you actually like edit the songs yourself? Oh wow, that's really cool.
It's amazing.
Do you have a key takeaway message or inspirational message you would like to share?
Well, one of the things that I always say, and I don't think I'll ever get tired of saying it, is inhale gratitude, exhale the shitty attitude. It's a moment to just remember that in this present moment, you have so much to be grateful for. Sometimes we can carry around like a shitty attitude on our shoulders, and then the lens in which we look at our life becomes skewed. Because if you're looking for something, you are going to find it. And if you're looking for reasons to be pissed off or mad or jealous, you're probably going to find it. If you're looking for things to be grateful for, you will equally find that too. And it doesn't make everything perfect, doesn't take away any of the tough stuff, but it does shift your perspective. And if you shift your perspective, you can ultimately change your whole life.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
If you were stranded on a deserted island and you can only bring one item with you, I guess it could be also a person. Who would it be?
Oh, a person. Oh, for sure.
Well, it's in one item, but then,
Okay, well, if I'm allowed
person.
to bring a person, I would 100% bring my fiance Dave.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed to bring an item, I'd bring my phone as long as it was charged. Because you can do everything on your phone.
That's true.
I would do my workouts on this island. I'd be like, in this week's of deserted island coronavirus. That's what I would do.
And so what can we expect from you in the years to come? Is there going to be a physical studio, you think?
Yeah, my goal is not a physical studio. If that happens, amazing. I'm open to all things that are going to get thrown thrown my way. Right now, I'm expanding into a subscription-based, which will be launching next week. And maybe when this podcast comes out, it'll already be up. So it's DibFit by Daniela Dib Fitness, which is a subscription-based service where you get access to all of my workouts and my daily live workouts, motivations, coaching sessions, guest instructors, and more. And it's basically bringing community right to your living room.
Amazing. We love that.
Well, thank you so much, Daniela.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate you. I thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Luna Nectar Universe with Mia and Diana. Get nectarized.